Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the conversation series.
Because creators are businesses.
What we do is not simple.
Give, the fans everything that they deserve.
Being creative
is like doing a 5,000 piece puzzle.
is something that you can learn and do over and over again.
Always be as authentic as I can be.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the conversation series. I am thrilled today to have one photographer, but also the digital media coordinator for Florida A&M Athletics, Miss Shweta Mistry. I am so excited to have her here to dive into everything that she does for Florida A&M. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for reaching out. I feel literally so honored. And yeah, I can't wait to see what we get into. It's so nice to meet you.
Yes, I'm so happy you're here, especially as we're getting into the world of sports. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite arenas to be in. And I first just want to start with, you've done work for Florida A&M Athletics today. You've done work with Georgia Athletics and that university. You've done work with college football. What got you on the track of sports? Where did your passion start for sports?
I think my passion started for sports kind of when I was really young, I was kind of like the kid. Both of my siblings didn't really play sports.
Okay.
And so my parents would always kind of push like dance on me. And then I kind of got into like cheerleading and I was a ballerina for a while. And then kind of through cheer, like I was competitive cheering. And then I cheered for my middle school like football team. And then I got like a minor injury where like my spine is hyperextended and I was kind of like, okay, let me just stop cheering. And then I was like, okay, then I started picking up dancing more. And then when I was a dancer, we would dance like Indian people, like I'm Indian, and so Indian people dance at the temple for like little like shows, like religious shows. And my uncle, he would take pictures at the dance shows. And I was like, kind of just like, okay, one day I was like, okay, like, I want to do what he's doing. And so I kind of got into sports from being like a cheerleader slash like ballerina. And then like really like being a cheerleader for the football team, I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of cool, like I actually kind of understand football. And so I was like, this is really interesting, like that this is like, America's biggest sport. And so yeah, that's kind of got how I got in like through cheer.
You're in the perfect state for it too, for football. It's like God and football is the thing in Georgia. So you're in the
Literally
for it. Perfect place. I want to pull that thread more and just hear how you went through school and all of this just to work for college football and for all of these and how you got to AFMU athletics today.
So basically like I kind of didn't shoot as much sports in middle school when I did first start. So I started in 2015 and that's like kind of eighth grade for me. And so like going into high school, my sister was a senior and I was a freshman. And so she had all the older friends who were playing sports and stuff. And so I would take their grad pics, their prom pics, whatever sports they played. Like one of her best friends was a soccer player. And so I started taking her soccer, going to soccer games and taking soccer pictures. And then my best friend, her and her brother played like league soccer, like club soccer. And so I would go to like their Arsenal games and sometimes shoot those games too to practice. And then high school was really like kind of like where I like fell off of sports for a while and just started doing like grad shoots and stuff. And then I was kind of like, okay, I really want to be on yearbook. I just think that'll be like kind of like a knack thing to do. And so then I joined yearbook my senior year of high school, and I was also in photo class. And so my photo teacher was the one like, and I always bring this up because like she's like, people don't realize how important teachers are sometimes. Like she's the one that convinced me that I could make it a career.
Yeah.
Like she's the one, like I was ready to quit photo. Like I took all 4 years, I took photo of all 4 years of high school, and she's the one that after first year, like I was like, okay, I don't really think I have photo room in my schedule. Like I was thinking of switching to something else. And she was just like, you could make this a career. Like, don't leave. And because she told me that, like, I feel like if she wouldn't have told me that in high school, I would have never actually made it a career. And so, like, shout out Miss Simons if she ever watches this. Um, so I took photo classes, joined yearbook. In yearbook, I was kind of like head of sports photo. I was shooting every football game, every basketball game, lacrosse, tennis, soccer, whatever. And then from high school, I graduated and I went to Georgia because my sister went to Georgia. I didn't really know about Georgia. I don't know what the Georgia Bulldogs were. I didn't know how good we were at football. I did not know any of that. But my sister was like, go to Georgia. My best friend was like, come to Georgia with me. And so I got in and I accepted it. And so went into college, didn't work for sports, tried to applied and just was hearing no from everyone. I heard no from the athletics department, I heard no from the football team, I heard no from the basketball team, gymnastics, everything I applied to like was just saying no. And so I was like, all right, I kind of for a second was like, let me pull back, but I applied for the football team and then I remember just spending a year saying, if this year it doesn't work out for me, I'm not gonna try again.
Yep.
And so for that whole year, like I spent like working for sports, not at Georgia. So I would travel like 5, 6 hours to other games at different schools, like shooting basketball and shooting volleyball and shooting other things just so that I could get like, and these were smaller schools or like schools where I knew some of the athletes just so I could get myself on the court and show, look, I can work at the SEC level. Look, I can work at the D1 level. And so spent a year shooting sports in other schools and trying to like join the yearbook too. I joined the yearbook at UGA too in that time. And through yearbook, I earned my first spot on the field for G Day, which is like Georgia's spring game. And so after the spring game, they released applications again for the football team, and I applied. And one of the craziest things to me was that, like, when I did apply and they brought me in for an interview, they were like, okay, we're actually just offering you the position. We're not actually interviewing you. We already know what you can do. And then later on, like a couple months in, like my boss had told me, he was just like, Shweta, like I saw your website and I saw your portfolio, and we didn't really question whether we wanted you or not. Like we just knew. Yeah, and I was so like it made me so happy because I was like, a lot can change in a year, right? Like a year before they were saying no, and a year before they had nothing to say but yes. Like that's insane. And
Yes.
so that's why I say, like, I tell all these artists, like, it's so important to represent yourself for your best work. And so basically, yeah, worked for Georgia football for the past from 2022, May 2022 till I graduated just now, May 2024. So I worked for Georgia football for 2 years. I worked with recruits, staff, football team, pretty much everybody as a student. Like I'm a student there, so I'm a student intern there.
Yeah.
And so it was awesome. It was like literally crazy experience of my life. And then I through that, I got the college football playoffs internship and I worked for them for like I think it was like seasonal, so it was like about a month-ish total that we actually did work. And yeah, and then left college, basically begged FAMU for a job, and my boss is awesome and he was like, let me create a position for you. And so my position never existed and they created a spot for me and I was like so honored, like so happy. And yeah, so now I'm at FAMU and I've been at FAMU for I think total 4.5 months now. And yeah, that's kind of like how I ended up here.
That's awesome. And I love that along the way, like you just never gave up and you never stopped from your
Yeah.
teacher telling you to Georgia to FMAU, like all the way. You just never took no for an answer.
It was so hard to really want it that bad. And I tell people nowadays too, tell them, I said, I literally have this written somewhere in my journal too. somewhere in my journal in like 2022 or 2023, I wrote down in my journal, I want to work in sports as bad as I want to breathe. That's literally what I wrote. And I have never, I still feel that today. But that's what makes you get into sports. And like, I was so close to quitting, like, after that year of working on my portfolio. I was like, I don't know if this is maybe sports isn't for me. Maybe I should go more back into the fashion stuff and more back into the grad shoot stuff and just look into another sector, maybe like more makeup marketing and beauty and stuff. I love stuff like that too. And so I was like, maybe I should just, you know, like low key just stay in my lane and stay out of a male dominated industry. And I was like, let me just give it one last shot. And to be honest, me applying to Georgia football that second time was like my last shot.
Yeah.
And I just happened to get it. And so I felt like literally so lucky. But it was hard to stay consistent because it's like you'll hear 1,000 no's before you hear one yes. And that's like it's a huge mental thing.
It is. I think it's across the board too, especially the world's like in the sphere that you are in the world of podcasting. I will send out 15 pitches a week and maybe hear back from one person, and it could be a no at the same time. Like there is nothing guaranteed anymore. You have to bust your ass.
Yeah,
And if
absolutely.
you love it enough, you go get it, and that's it.
No, so true. Like it's like it's not easy in any industry, like whether it's sports or podcasting or anything. Like it's literally like if you love something, you'll be okay with hearing no. But it will like one day you might get fed up, but if you love it enough, you won't get fed up. You'll still love it. Like I'm sure you hate hearing those no's, but that doesn't stop you from sending the next email.
No, I still have feelings more said that the week afterwards, the week after that, the week after that. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't stop. You can't stop. If you love it enough, you won't stop or won't want to stop either.
Yeah.
Jumping into FMAU, you oversee and you lead a team of 14 content creators. That's a big team for for anybody to handle by themselves. What is the most rewarding part of that role, and what is your approach to leading that team?
So I will say, I'll say like me and my boss do lead them together.
Okay, it's not just you. I was about to be like, woo.
No, I could never do that. Like I genuinely think that I would probably cry and be overwhelmed all the time and feel like a mom. But me and my boss, like we lead this team together and yeah, we have like that those content creators are kind of divided into some of them are like on video like personas, some of them are like video journalists, broadcasters, some of them are more heavy social media side, some of them are just heavy like photo side, and then a lot of them are heavy just video creation. So we kind of divided it into like social media, video, photo, like those kind of three sectors. Biggest thing that's most rewarding about it is really feeling like is hearing like when they come in and they're like, Shweta, I learned so much from you.
Yeah.
Like I feel like no amount of money or no amount of anything will ever make me feel as like as happy as hearing that I made an impact. And like, as much as it's like some of those kids are like literally like 22, like I'm 22.
Yeah.
So some of them are like literally my age, but some of them are 18. And, I'm thinking about like 18-year-old me learning from me today, like it's just insane to think about like I'm literally impacting someone's life right now and they're going to carry this with them for the rest of their life because of how I like helped them in their college days. And so I feel like that's definitely the most rewarding thing. Managing it is definitely like insane a lot of the time because we're one of the biggest HBCU media teams. A lot of HBCUs don't get a media team this big. A lot of HBCUs, like we feel very privileged that so many of these interns work not only so hard, but they are really so talented. And so managing comes with a lot of me being an iPad girly. Everything is on the iPad.
I love it.
Yeah, I divide them into sectors, like every single game. I figure out what corner of the field they're covering, what content they're covering. Like sometimes I'll be like, okay, you go shoot just the cheerleaders, you go shoot the captain's walking out, you go shoot the run out, you go shoot the fireworks that we blow.
Got it.
You know, like I kind of divide stuff like up like
Hitting
that.
every single angle.
Yeah, so everybody is kind of assigned. Like I have a social media girl who does just social media with me on iPhone content. So I lead by kind of giving them roles and telling them to fall within those roles and like and it kind of works like because we are an HBCU and none of these sports team have individualized creative teams like right like at UGA like you have your UGA football creative and you have your UGA basketball creative and sometimes that kind of meshes with athletics. Athletics sometimes will take care of the other sports like gymnastics and golf and blah blah blah. So at FAMU you have me and my boss Josh Padilla like we run every single sport. So it becomes a lot when there are like 13 sports at FAMU. But the thing is that what works best for us, considering that we're technically understaffed, is that we work in seasons. So I work like when it comes to managing these 14 people, we kind of split us 14 up within sports. Like I tell, like one of my interns is really heavy with the track and field team. One of my interns is really heavy with the men's basketball team right now. Like he's in Utah with them. So we kind of divide these opportunities up for my interns and they get and grab a lot of the content and I publish a lot of it. Because sometimes like most of the time like I traveled with the football team the entire season. So I was the main poster and publisher and like content grabber. But like basketball season, like both I have interns traveling with women's basketball and men's basketball. And so they grab content and they send it to me and I post. Yeah.
Okay. Holy shit.
Yeah. So it's a lot to manage, but it's also like so rewarding because it feels like it really like I have to learn so much about being a good leader because it's one thing to work with people that you don't like it's like one thing to be an adult, right? And you're like 26 and you go to work and you work in it like you work in an office with people you don't like, but they're also 26. And it's another thing to work with kids who are just starting college and those personalities are so different. Like you have to speak to them differently, you have to respect them differently, you have to teach them things that they might not know about sports in the way that I would know and stuff like that. Like there's different levels of professionalism that I would give my 25-year-old like coworkers versus my 18-year-old interns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have to adapt to like different personalities at different age groups too.
You were just giving us a walkthrough, but just like how you were saying you're an iPad girly. How do you like what does that calendar look like for you? Like if a normal person were to look at it, or would they be like, this is my hell? Because that's what I get the response sometimes. I just had somebody on my team, they're like, this is my version of hell. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but this makes sense to me.
Yeah. I would say so. I have like literally so many calendars, but my main calendar has every single sport game that's that month, like
Okay.
for every single sport. So like this month only has basketball because our football season ended last month. But so like last month I had basketball on there and football on there. So every single sports game that's happening that month. And then I divide it into weeks. So every single week I have one board for one active sport, right? So football's in season and men's basketball and women's basketball's in season. So I have a weekly board for football and I have three content ideas that go under there. And
Okay.
then I have men's basketball, three ideas for that, and then women's basketball, three ideas for that. So I put all the games on a monthly calendar, and then I put all my content. I structure my weeks
Yeah.
based on what content needs to be shot this week and what content needs to be posted this week per sport.
Yeah.
So that's how I try to divide it. And then yeah, like my team gets like a monthly calendar so that they can
Okay.
know like, hey, these are the sports that are at home, so we have to cover them. And I need people, like I need bodies for this event and this event and this event. And so that's kind of how my calendar is like my weekly calendars
Yeah.
are like you don't want to look at those. But like my monthly calendar, like you'll look at those and understand where I'm coming from.
It's like this beautiful puzzle you have to put together.
Yes.
It's so satisfying for people who work in this
Yes.
digital space. It's so satisfying.
Like it literally makes me feel like such an iPad girly. Like I don't know how to explain that, but I just feel so organized when it's written out like
Yeah.
what I need to do that week.
Oh, I'm so type A. I am a
Yes.
classic type A with all of my calendars. Like,
Yeah. No, I know your entire calendar is color coded too.
oh, like my even personal one is like color coded to a T. Like it is so
Oh my God.
everything. Everything. House has
That's
a
so funny.
color, social media has a color, recordings have a color, everything.
I love that. I'm very type A, so we're type A, team type A.
I'm here for it. I love being a mutual friend. I do want to get into just a little bit of your technical expertise here, mixing athletics and sports and with your photography background. When you are got the camera in your hand, you're in this stance, you're in your photographer stance. How do you make sure you are getting that perfect shot that everybody would love to get in the entire world? How are you? What does that look like for you?
I think I posted a LinkedIn post about this because people were literally asking me this question about how I got better at, just shooting action because that's the whole thing of sports photography is getting that perfect shot, which is literally happens in half a second, which is the most difficult thing. People don't understand how hard it is to shoot sports until they shoot sports. And even like I didn't even understand how hard it was. I thought it was just a walk in the, oh, it's just photography. No, it is not just photography
Yeah.
because that insane shot of like a football player jumping over another football player, like that's an insane shot that goes down in history.
Yep.
That's an insane shot that might end up in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Like these are shots that people get paid to make and they get paid to post on a wall and ESPN will pay them. Like
Yep.
that's money in your pocket. And so getting that money shot is what every photographer's dream, right? So basically like when I'm there, I'm on the field and I'm about to shoot. I tell my team this too. I tell all my interns, you shoot every single play.
Okay.
Every single play, you need to have your camera ready because
Yep.
you never know. Even when the other team has the ball,
Yeah.
you never know when you're gonna get an interception.
Yep.
That was the biggest thing was like shooting every single play. So I keep that in mind. Like when I was before, like at FAM, I kind of was heavy photo at first, and then I transitioned more into the social side.
Yep.
But all my interns were taking care of the photo responsibilities. But when I was first there and I was shooting all the football games, I was there ready to shoot every single play because I never knew who was going to steal the ball from who.
Yep.
And so basically like the biggest way I got better at getting the perfect shot was shooting practice. Half the time it is luck. Half the time it is you have the money shot, but it's out of focus, or it's really just luck. And that's where you need a creative team because if I don't get the shot and my shot's blurry, but it's in the perfect position, but then someone else gets the shot, but it's not as like of a perfect composition, that's
Yeah.
fine because it's the money shot. If it's like the money shot, then that's fine.
Yeah.
So shooting those is really just one, a matter of luck,
Yeah.
and two, is a matter of practice. You have to know when to start clicking and to stop clicking.
Okay.
And then literally a lot of people forget to shoot sports in the way that you're shooting the action, and they try to just shoot the faces and the NFL players and like the jersey numbers and stuff. And so I always tell people, if you're going to be a sports photographer, you have to shoot the actual plays.
Yep.
And so shooting the plays and going to practices, like it really just nailing the like timing of the stuff, like that's something that I had to practice for a super long time. Even at Georgia, I was so bad at it at first. I went to so many practices and I still wasn't confident, like even leaving Georgia, that I could get the money shot, because it's just a matter of luck at the end of the day. Some people are good at it, some people are not, but it took me a long time to get good at it.
It's extremely hard. Like I will not even claim that I've taken any sort of photo of a professional sports, but I can imagine like I am incredibly happy if I get like I'm a hockey person. So I am thrilled if I get a goal on video. I'm like, this is golden. I
Yeah.
can't imagine that feeling across the board for you guys because it is, I mean, it is just a perfect bullseye, like you were saying, money shot.
And that's like it's the same thing with video, right? It's the same thing. It's where like when you get a video, even on your iPhone, like of an amazing moment in
Yeah,
sports, you're really like, oh my gosh, I just got this on camera.
yeah,
Like you said, like that's like a point in time that could never be repeated. It's like a fingerprint. That's
yeah.
why I say that money shots are so important, because they're like fingerprints. You can never replicate them. It doesn't matter how many people are at this game, no two photographers can ever take the same picture.
Yep.
And so your fingerprint is engraved into like media's history. And
Yes.
so that's why I always say it's so important literally to shoot the action, because you can't say, "Oh, he's going to get it. Oh, he's going to get it." You never know who on your team is going to miss the shot.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impressive work. I'm always stunned. I'm like, how in the hell did y'all just get that?
Yeah.
It's
And it's insane because like the half of the team probably got the same shot, but it's
yeah,
either blurry, or it's either a bad position, or it's either just like literally it won't even transfer to the phone. So we can't even post it. Sometimes it's that, right? So whoever gets a shot and whoever can send it fast enough, they're the ones that get posted.
Has there been one that you've taken so far that you would classify as like your number one money shot?
Oh,
Whether it's at Georgia or it's at AFMU.
at FAM? Okay, I had this. Okay, at FAM, I feel like my money shot from this season is
Yeah.
when we ended up losing this game against Jackson State. They played a
Okay.
really good game. We played a really good game. We were winning. And then we ended up losing. So it was a really tough game. It was a really tough loss because we
Yeah.
love playing against Jackson State. Like they're a really good team to play against. So we love good competition at FAM. They're very hungry players. And so it was super like an emotional game, super intense game. And in the middle of it, our one of our players, Kendall Bowler, he intercepted, and we needed it. Like we needed that interception. We needed that turnover. And so I got that shot from taking my own advice, which is shoot the play even when the other team has the ball. And so if I wasn't shooting the play, if I was like, okay, the other team has the ball, I could take a break.
Yeah.
If I would have said that, I wouldn't have caught Kendall. That shot was perfectly in focus, and he was right in front of me. And it's literally him like cradling the ball before
So
it
good.
hits the ground. And so it was like one of those shots that I was like, okay, he's gonna love this one, right? And then my favorite Georgia shot, I would say, is there's this really there's this one shot at one of the games. It was like a night game. I think it was against Ole Miss. It was UGA versus Ole Miss. at night, and everyone loves night games at
Oh,
UGA. Like we love that. Like
yeah.
I'm a huge like night game girl.
They're
Uh,
always better at night.
Always better. It sucks going home at like
Oh,
2 o'clock
yeah.
because you go back to the office and then you drop all your pictures and you still
Yeah.
have to go home at like 2 a.m. So that sucks, but I love working them because that Georgia Heat is no joke at those noon games. So there was this one shot of like Rah Thomas, and he I think that's his last name. I should know that, but I don't know that. So there's this one shot of him catching the ball, and it's like perfectly in focus, and his foot is the only reason why we scored that touchdown. Like I think his like literal like his big toe
Yeah.
touched the end zone, and that's the only reason why we scored that. And they spent like a couple like they spent it like a while on the field reviewing that and making sure that we actually scored in. So like that was one of like it wasn't like a big historical moment shot, but it was really definitely just a solid picture. And that one's like on my website and everything.
It's always those shots you're like, how the hell did that person just do that? Like,
Yeah,
how did you
literally.
just like toe that into the end zone?
Yes, like it's kind of like I just like it's so amazing to me how sometimes football players are so aware of so many things at so many times. Like I'm
Yes.
like, how did you know that like you needed to put your foot down? Like naturally you just should have put your foot down right there.
They do the they get up on their toes like that, and
Yeah.
they like have to make sure both are in. I'm like, no, I don't have that in me.
I don't either. I'm like I'm just such a brain fart. Like I brain fart all the time. Like I would
Yeah,
literally be the worst football player in the world.
right
Like
there.
I would be the worst walk on. I would be the like definitely I would just redshirt myself.
I'm
Like
water boy. I'd be the
I
water boy. I'll do whatever. I'll sit
literally
on the bench. I'll make sure
I
the
couldn't even be the water boy. Our water people are so elite. Like even at Georgia, like they're literally like our nutritionist,
yes.
the water team, all of them, like every single water team and nutritionist and all of those sports med people that I've ever worked with, they work so
You're
hard. I could
expensive. Yeah.
never do their job.
It's
I
in
don't, I'm not even that competent to do that. Like they are so freaking intelligent.
I love it. I love it. I do just want to get into, you started your own photography business. We talked about at the beginning. You were doing senior portraits and all these different things for people to being in sports. Like, how do you adapt your style and your creativity and your approach based on what you're going into?
So I feel like because I grew up shooting stuff outside of sports, it helps me a lot in sports.
Okay.
Um, photography has evolved so much, and sports on social media has evolved so much in the past like decade alone, to the point where now I care what Nakobe Dean is wearing to
Yeah.
his game,
Yep.
like that night in Philly. Like I care about what who's wearing YSL and who's wearing Gucci and who's wearing Louis Vuittons and like who's got Balenci's like on their feet and stuff like that. Like that's people care about the off-field stuff now,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
so 10 to 15 to 20 years ago when social media wasn't as prominent, all we cared about was the football players on the football team playing football on the football field.
Yep.
That's all you cared about.
Yep.
But now you see all these teams, they're posting like charity events and fashion, and they're posting funny humor,
Yeah.
asking players questions like do you like put the milk first or the cereal
Yeah.
like we did at fam, like in the comments of all these posts are like they're this is my like whole philosophy too is like those comments are literally the answers to all these sports teams problem. You of course people who love sports are
Yeah.
going to follow these NFL teams. Of
Yeah.
course these people who love Georgia football. If I love Georgia football because I love watching them play, I'm gonna follow the Georgia football Instagram.
Yep.
But how do I make the people who don't know what football is and don't care about football love football, right? How do I make my audience that loves makeup
Yeah.
and fashion and pageantry and stuff like that, how do I make them love sports? You know, how do I make these skateboarders of the world love football? It's
Yeah.
like that. It's like, how do I make my audience that's not my target audience love us? Because the people who love you already love you. They're already going to follow. They're already going to engage. But we need to make the people who don't love us and start engaging. And so when it came to like actually implementing fashion, like my style of photography, which was, I feel like my style of photography has always been kind of like feminine, like super raw, super organic, and super emotional. People always tell me that, like, you know, Shweta, like your pictures feel like I feel like I look like me, but the best version of me. And so that was something that I loved, was that like I made people feel beautiful, and I made people feel like my pictures of them made them feel like they were like special. But it's like in their, like they really are that already that special. I don't need to convince you that you're that special, but these pictures make you feel that. And so people always say like, oh, your content's really raw, and like you're like, I can feel like the raw emotion in your pictures. And so coming from someone who really loves, like I like have a Vogue magazine subscription. Like I get Vogue sent to me every single month, and like a lot of people in this world don't read paper magazines, but I'm collecting all these to save them for the rest of my life and for my kids to see. I would every single month I get my Vogue and I look through all those pictures and I see what they feel like and I see what they look like, and I implement that stuff into my football work in the way I represent those players. So like combining my feminine touch to sports was super beneficial to me, because I tried to shoot in a way that's kind of like, can I put this in a magazine? Can I put this on a sheet of paper? Can I print this, and will it be something that stops someone from turning the page? So I try to shoot in a way that I always kind of think like, I guess you could say like editorially.
Okay.
Like I try to shoot sports in that way.
But you're in the mindset of stopping the scroll. How do you stop the scroll? Yeah.
Yes. Stopping the scroll is so complicated now, but I tell people all the time, you have half a second to stop the scroll. You have half a second to stop the scroll, and that is so difficult. There's so many different people that you encounter, and you'll never get every single one of them. You'll never have a 100% stopping scroll rate. And so biggest thing I tell my interns right now, and the biggest thing I tell myself right now, is how can I provide value?
Yep.
You know, whether it's humor, whether it's aesthetic, whether it's information, education, like how can I provide value? Or maybe it's just to make someone smile. Maybe this just inspired you to do something. So I tell all my social media heavy interns and all of, like in all my notes, I always put like, what value does this provide to someone? A lot of the times, like it's hard to stop people from scrolling, but I guess it really just is like, for me, I'm one of those people who I care more about the reaction than I care about the numbers.
Yep.
That's actually a quote. Yeah, that's actually a quote by Boss Mandilo. I was watching one of his interviews, and he literally he said, I worry about the reaction and not the numbers. Like, and not like he was like, I don't care about how many likes and how much this and how much that. Like, I care about how I make people feel. I care about how many people are playing my music and stuff like that. And so I kind of feel the same way about my content. Like, I don't care if I get like 400,000 views or anything like that, but I care about the moms that comment that say, this made me smile today. Like, I just saw my son in a video, or the comment that says, like, I need to come to a game. Like, these guys have great personality.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what I slowly started to realize through like working more in social that of course the numbers matter and of course they speak really heavy, but when you're making good content that provides value, that speaks to people's hearts,
Yeah.
the numbers will come.
Yeah.
Like if you send a good message, the numbers will come and people will stop scrolling because they see other people stopping to scroll too.
Yep.
And so I'm a big value over numbers person, but I can't sit here and say that I didn't value numbers.
Totally.
I do care about the numbers, and I cared about the numbers, like only the numbers at first.
Yeah.
But now I kind of realize, like I love creating stuff that makes people feel,
Yep.
just feel anything.
100%. If you were to go back and look at younger Shweta and give her one piece of advice to break into the sports media industry, what would it be?
I would say, like, one, stop feeling so sorry for yourself that you can't get in. Self-pity gets you nowhere. And two, you have to be a shark.
Love
You
it.
have to go and reach out. You have to go and talk to people. You have to go and shoot those games that you don't want to shoot. And you have to do a bunch of shit for free. And that's okay. You have to get your foot in the door somehow.
Yep.
One way or another, you have to get your foot in the door. And if that means waking up every single morning and emailing 10 more people every single day to see who will give you one chance, you just need one chance to get through the door. So I would just tell her, like, and eventually that clicked in my head, right? Like when I spent that year just improving my portfolio, that's when it clicked in my head when I was like, I should have been done this in high school. I should have been reached out to these people, right? But when it clicked in my head before that, I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm applying and it's not working. I don't understand, like blah blah blah. Just spent so much time feeling sorry for myself, and I don't do that anymore. I don't ever feel sorry for myself, even if shit goes wrong in my life. I don't there's a lesson in everything, and I believe that like very firmly. So I literally just would tell myself, one, to don't feel sorry for yourself if things don't work out exactly how you want them to, because that's not how the world works. And two, to be a shark. No one is going to come hand a plate to you in sports.
Yes.
No one will hand you anything in sports. If you want the football schedule, you got to go find it. If you want to talk to this head coach, you need to find out how to contact him. If you want, even if you work, I work at FAM and I'm texting these coaches every single week, emailing them every single week saying, can I get a practice schedule? Can I meet up with you at this time? Can we talk about this photo shoot? Can we talk about this social idea? Can we plan for 3 months? 3 months later, when y'all are going to Houston, or when y'all are going to like Setso City, New York, whatever. Can I brainstorm that with you right now? Like, you have to be proactive. And I think that's where a lot of people in sports fall behind, especially me. 18-year-old me thought that, I can apply and that'll be enough. It's not. You have to be hungry. Hunger is a thing, and initiative is the thing that will set you apart from everybody else. You could be the most talented photographer in the world, but if you don't want it, you won't make it in sports.
Nope. 100% agree with you. And I love that you have that mindset. It's so good. It's so good. And it applies to everything, truly. Like you have to go get your shit.
Yes.
You have to.
Absolutely. And that was the Kirby Smart mindset. And that's why I loved, oh my gosh, like the things this man has taught me, and he will never realize, because I've literally like never actually had like a one-on-one conversation
Yeah.
with this man or ever taken like we have like a group pic with him, but
Yeah.
he will never understand the impact that he has had on my life, because I genuinely, that was the mindset every single day at Kirby's practices. Coach Smart literally enforced to these players that a man's words mean nothing.
Yep.
They mean nothing. Like
Yeah.
saying man, but I mean like humans in general, like saying like mankind as all of us. Our words mean nothing without action.
Yeah.
And so he literally would teach these players, I don't care about how you wanted to be a 5-star. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care what car you drive or anything, or what how big your chain is or anything like that. If you say you are a football player and you say that you're this and that, but you don't show that and you don't play like that, you're not that, right? And so his whole mindset on life
Yeah.
is action over words.
Yep.
And so what I kind of realized through working with him and working under him was nobody cares at
Yep.
the end of the day. Nobody cares what you say. Everyone cares what you do.
Yeah.
And when I started to apply that whole principle to my life, that like it doesn't matter that I'm Indian. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter that I'm 22. It doesn't matter that I'm a female. What matters is my portfolio. Does
Yep.
my work speak for itself?
Yep.
The same thing. That's what he told his football players. Do your stats speak for you? Do your numbers speak for you? And so for me, it was my portfolio. I didn't need it's to the point where I can show someone my portfolio today and they'll be like, we're good. We don't need to see more. We'll book you.
Yeah.
They'll look at it for a couple seconds and they'll book me because it speaks for itself. They don't care what I look like. They don't care about my full name and how to say it and blah 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 stuff like that. And so that was the Coach Smart mindset, was action over words. And I learned quickly as a woman that it's the same thing for women. Like literally showing what we have to offer and making yourself look like an asset to a team. And so that was my biggest philosophy, like leaving Georgia, going to FAM, is teaching them that too. That none of these teams care about what you look like and where you came from and what's your hometown. They want to see what can you do to be an asset to our team. That's what they want to see.
Kirby Smart, always the best thing in the world. Every Saturday when he's getting upset about something and you see him throw his visor, I'm like, oh, you're about to see Kirby work. You're about to see Kirby work. But I love that man to pieces. I think he's an incredible coach. Uh, my last question for you is, out of, some of the craziest sporting events or just any sporting event in the world, past past sporting event that you would have liked to gone back to and shoot.
It was Tennessee versus Georgia
Okay.
when Tennessee was at home and it was a night game. I don't know if this was 2020. I think this was 2022
Okay.
or 2023.
Okay.
It definitely wasn't 2024 because I wasn't here for that football season, obviously, because that football season's right now. I think it was 2023. I don't remember, but it was like a night game and it was raining and I shot the whole game in the rain. I like literally was soaking, like literally we were all drenched after, like it was insane. I remember that game specifically, not because the shots were amazing. I did get amazing pictures and I literally loved shooting that game. And it was so difficult to shoot in the rain. Every photographer, videographer knows how hard it is to shoot just to make sure your gear's protected. Because you're talking about literally like thousands of dollars on the field. Shooting that game, the biggest thing I can remember is like just being in the end zone and there's like I think like 5 minutes on the clock and this entire stadium is still packed. It is raining, it is wet, it is late at night, and these players are still giving their all down to the last minute. I'm pretty sure we were winning, and we did win that game, but I'm pretty sure we were winning and they're still giving their all. And I remember just being there on the sideline, and I remember just feeling emotional, like, I can't believe I'm witnessing history right now. Like, that was historically one of the biggest games that year. And it was one of those games where people still talk about that game today.
Yeah.
And you'll see it in the comment sections of UGA versus Georgia, or no, UGA versus Tennessee. And people are like, nothing will be that one game where it was so loud. And I think we broke the record for stadium, like the decibel
Yeah.
record or something.
Yeah.
We broke the record at that game for the loudest stadium or something. And I literally was just like, this is such a beautiful moment. Like, I'm witnessing history and I get to be on the field to witness this and I get to capture this. And that was just like one moment I would love to go back to.
Is there any sporting event in history you would go and you'd want to shoot?
Uh, Probably like, ooh, this is such a good question. Probably like a Kobe game.
Okay.
Like maybe like Kobe's last game before he had passed away. I'm like a huge Kobe fan.
Okay.
He was my wallpaper for so
Yep.
long when he passed away. Like,
Mentality.
yes, I like cried like a baby. I'm such a softie. Like, I'm literally one of the, like, they call me warden at work. Like, that's what my interns call me. They call me warden. And
So
so
good.
I run a tight ship and I'm a tough girl, but I'm at the end of the day, I'm really like super soft and super emotional. And so when Kobe died, obviously this man does not even know me. I don't know this man personally, but definitely wish I would have caught like shot one of like his games before he passed away because he was just such a legend.
Yeah, he's up there. He is definitely up there in the books.
Absolutely.
Shweta, I can't thank you enough for sitting down with me and letting me dive into your world and everything that you've been doing for the last several years. I so appreciate it. And I can't wait to see more of your work. I love seeing every week the photo album you do on LinkedIn. I'm like, yes, we're getting the full update for the week.
Well, it was literally so nice to meet you. So nice to talk to you. And I literally can't wait to see where your podcast take you. Like, I literally, like, when you sent me the email, I was like, oh my gosh, and let me watch this episode. Let me watch this episode. I was like, I need to watch. I was like, I
I
need to listen to
appreciate it.
these.
I love
Yes.
it. I love it.
So literally such an honor to even be interviewed by you. Like, I'm literally so honored.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for those kind words, and I so appreciate it. And you guys, I'm gonna have all of Shweta's his socials down below, so you can go give her a follow, go stay in tune with everything that she's doing. But as always, I will see you guys back here next time. Bye, y'all.